Hi, I'm going to give you a demonstration for our art appreciation class on how to do two different types of sculptures. We're going to be making a pinch pot, and we're also going to be making a bird sculpture. There's lots of different ways to make a bird, but I'm going to show you one way that is pretty easy. For those of you in my class, you may receive a little baggie with your clay in it, and the first thing I want you to do is cover your work surface and get a plate and a damp paper towel before you start. You're going to take your clay out of the bag. And what we need to do first is we need to get all of the air bubbles out of the clay. And so you want to squeeze this into a nice big ball, like this, and you can kind of pound it. And once we've done that, we're going to divide this in two for our two different projects. They don't have to be the exact same size. If you want one a little bit bigger, that's fine, but they should be approximately, maybe just slightly off. We're going to set this one aside for our bird, and we're going to do the same thing with this now. We're going to pound it into a nice ball, roll it. All right, and so this is the basis for our pinch pot. We want a nice round ball to start. What we're going to do is we're going to start by putting our thumb in the middle. You're going to take this and squish it right down into the middle, like that. All right, pretty good. You don't want to go all the way through because you want to have a base to your pot. So now what you're going to do is pinch and turn, pinch and turn, pinch and turn. And this becomes just like a little potter's wheel. And you're going to just keep pinching and turning until you get a nice little pot. You could actually stop at this point. It's kind of a nice little pot. Or you can decide you want to work it a little bit more. So I'm going to keep turning and pinching and turning and pinching and trying to get the walls of the pot to be pretty even. All right. I don't want to pinch too much on the edge. I don't want a sharp edge because those could actually break in the end. So just kind of keep pinching and turning like this. And if you want, you can pick it up and you can press on the bottom to get a little bit more round shape with it. Right? And there we have just a nice little pinch pot. So that's the first project that we're going to do. You may want to work on that a little bit longer, make it very even if you like. And when you're done with it, it's important that you take a pencil and put your name on the bottom here. Just scrape it a little bit so I know whose pot is whose. All right? We're going to set that aside for now, and now I'm going to show you how to make a sculpture. All right, we're going to take our ball and we're going to knead it and get all the air bubbles out. And what we're going to be doing is dividing this ball several times to get different sizes in order to make our bird. All right, so we're going to start by dividing it pretty much in half, and we're going to set one of them down and roll the next one into a ball. And we're going to take this one and we're going to divide it in half again and set one down. We're going to take the last one and divide that in half one more time. So now what we have is two smalls that are pretty equal, a medium and a large piece. We're going to start with our large piece and we're going to roll that into a ball. This will be the body of the bird. And we're going to connect that with one of the small ones. We want to smush that clay so that it really becomes one piece. So you can see I'm not just placing the ball on there with a seam in there. I'm really smushing this together so that it becomes one solid piece, kind of one pear-shaped piece here. All right, and so this is the body and the head of the bird. And we're just going to kind of mold that a little bit until it's kind of a nice shape. All right, so that's kind of the body and the head of the bird. We're going to take the medium ball at this point, and we're going to roll that one into a ball, really nice and round. And we're going to smush it until it's just about as thick as a cookie, like a Girl Scout cookie. We don't want to make it too thin. That would be too fragile. So we've got kind of a nice little disc at this point. All right, I'm going to smush it, get a little bit bigger. So we have a nice disc like this, and then we're going to tear that in half. These are going to end up being the wings. Now you have a choice of how you're going to do your bird. He can be sitting up like this. He can be sitting down like this. I'm going to make mine with just a little bit of an angle. And now I'm going to be placing these wings onto the bird. You can have your bird with his wings flying up like this if you want, or with his wings flying down. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put mine like this. And again, I'm going to really smush this so that it connects with that other piece of clay. right? You don't want those to fall off when they dry. And you can take these pieces and you can mold them a little bit differently if you want. If you don't like the shape of it, you can change that if you want. But the half moon is kind of a nice shape there anyway. All right? And then you're going to take your smallest piece here and you're going to roll it. We're going to smush that into a disc again. Again, not too thin. All right? We're going to tear that disc in half. We're going to tear one of these into quarters. So it's like we have a little pizza, and we've got a half a pizza and 2/4 of pizza. These two can kind of get pushed on here as feet for your bird, if you like. Again, I want to really make sure that I smush that on. This is just a very simple little primitive bird. I want to pull this out so that it has a little beak, all right? So that's kind of fun. And then with this last piece here, we're going to make that into a tail. And birds have different types of tails, so you can make it whatever shape you want. And you're going to just make sure that you smush that right onto the back of there. Now, if you want to, you can take a little pencil and you can poke some little eyes. You can make some little feather shapes or anything you want. Again, I want to make sure that you put your initials on the bottom of the bird so I know whose is whose. And if you want, you can put your little bird right into his sweet little nest like this. It would be so much fun. All right, thank you. Okay.